Welcome to Live the Final Third with Stephen Kilbreath. More life, more stories, and more ahead. Through hopeful, honest conversations, we'll talk with people turning experience into purpose, connection, and impact. These are real stories from real people creating real momentum. Live the Final Third shines a light on people using experience, curiosity, and heart to make a difference in this season of life, including some familiar voices from Stephen's years in the media business. Because the Final Third might just be the best one yet.
Welcome to the Live the Final Third podcast. I'm Stephen Kilbreath, your host, and thanks for tuning in. I've been enjoying all of the conversations we've been having. Today, I have my friend, a personal friend of mine. Actually, everybody's kind of been a personal friend of mine, but this personal friend lives just up the street, just a few minutes away here. Stacy Hecht is a real estate agent in Snoqualmie, Washington, and she's awesome. I love her story. Born in Vietnam, moved over here when she was 5 years old, worked at the U.S. Post Office for a long time, and then is now one of the biggest real estate agents in this area. And, spoiler alert, you're going to hear all about that during the whole podcast, but that's the background. Love Stacy, love to hear her story. And that's what we're all about here at Live the Final Third. More life, more stories, more ahead. These are hopeful, honest conversations with people turning experience into purpose, connection, and impact. And I appreciate you listening and appreciate you watching. If you want to help us out, you can click the donate button on the website. That money goes directly to fund the production of all of this. Trevor and Olivia and all of the people helping on the outside will be able to get paid at some point. They would probably love to get a paycheck, but we appreciate your support. And even if you don't, we appreciate you listening and being a part of it. Make sure you follow us on social media and look at the website. And hey, if you want to sponsor the show, you can do that. Also, if you want to become or a guest or know of somebody who has a remarkable story about their final third or their whole life story or whatever it may be, email me. Let me know. You can do that through the website as well, or you can go livethefinalthird@gmail.com. We'd love to hear some stories. I know my kids have given me tons of ideas of people to have on the show. So here's my interview with Stacy. Today on Live the Final Third, we're going to talk to my friend in Snoqualmie. You just live up the street, 4 minutes away. It's Stacy. I describe you as a real estate mogul just because I'm so impressed by all of the things that you do, all of the hats that you wear. And I know you said you don't like wearing all of those hats. Well, you don't mind the jobs, but you don't want to wear an actual hat.
I don't want to wear the actual hat. It makes my head look too big.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you were, would it be a cowboy hat, a baseball hat, or, like a little, what do you call those, fedora?
I don't know what it's called, but it's one of those, is it the tennis people play or the one that has...
Like a visor.
There you go.
So there's nothing back here. It's just right here, like a visor.
It looks more like a
Jed
princess.
Fish. You may not get that reference, but the Jed Fish visor, that's for my sons because he's the coach of the football team at the University of Washington. So anyway, you're here again because I like the story. I like, your origin story and kind of where you are now. And I have only known you the last couple of years. So I've known you in your mogulness, if you will. And so it's just fascinating with houses that you own in certain spots and the volume of real estate that you're able to do. And we're going to get to all of that. But I want to start from the beginning. And you were born in Vietnam.
Yep.
Vietnam. Which
Vietnam.
do you say? Vietnam?
Yep.
How did you say it? You said it differently than I do.
Vietnam.
Mm-hmm. Is that okay?
Yep.
All right.
100%.
So you were born there, and then you moved to Auburn, Washington when you were very little. So how did you end up in Auburn, Washington?
So we came here in 1980. We had a sponsor that, I don't know how the process worked, but our sponsor picked us up at the airport, took us to our home, and I assume that he rented that home for us. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. And when we came here, of course, we didn't know any English. We got to know our next door neighbor, and that became our babysitter / friends and whatnot. As we grew from Auburn to Fred Way, and then we got into high school, then we moved to Seattle. And then as, we got older and got married, I stayed put where the rest of my family all moved to Texas. But yeah, so
How did, well, I'm going to go back in a second. How did they all end up in Texas? Why did they go there?
so we started off. My family got into the restaurant business here, and over the years, when the restaurant industry was kind of slowing down, my dad went to Texas, and he's a fisherman. He somehow bought a convenience store and needed help. And so he asked my mom to come down and help. So once my mom came down and helped and ran the convenience store, eventually mom needed help, which recruited the other kids, and they all kind of packed in.
How many brothers and sisters?
2 sisters, 1 brother. We're all a year apart.
Do you remember as a 5-year-old what that felt like? Or was it you didn't know any different, so it was totally fine to move to the United States?
I was a tomboy.
Yeah.
I was a major tomboy. And if you saw my photos right now, I was in a 3-piece suit going to school. Was there anything different that I felt? Or no, as a kid, you just want to play. You want to make some friends. You're scared of talking to people. I just remember even in class, your first time you out in the recess and you got kissed by a boy, you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? I was like, well, what happened to those boys now?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's
School through in Auburn.
yep, school in Auburn Federal Way area all the way until we got into high school. Then the whole family moved to Renton, up in the Skyway neighborhood, and we went to Renton High School. I didn't do well. I skipped classes a lot, and then
Why is that? Why didn't you do well?
I didn't feel like I fit in. I was a nerd. I was afraid to raise my hands. I was afraid, just a lot of fear in Renton at that time. And then when the opportunity came and my sister was able to drive, we were able to use somebody's address to go to another high school that we actually grew up when we were in middle school. And just the community around there, the support around there was more tight-knit and more welcoming. So when we got the opportunity to go back, we registered and got back in. So then from Skyway, we drove all the way to South Center, and I went to a school called Foster High School. The whole get-along kids, we all went there, and so we got half in middle school and the other in high school. It felt like it was a place where we felt secure and we're not afraid. And I sat instead of the back of the class and skipping class and not want to talk to anybody and feel connected, I was in the front of the row. I decided that this is, I can raise my hand and ask for help, and I was not afraid to go to the bathroom, and a whole bunch of that guard was let down. That I went from a D and F to a straight A. So the school did play a lot into our family life.
It's interesting. So it's the environment of the school, or that kind of created the mindset, or probably an experience that happened. I mean,
I would say for the school that I went to, when I say talk about fear, I was always feared that I didn't fit in, or I would get beat up, and this is coming from a nerd, right? When I'm going to school, I'm dressing like I'm in business, entrepreneur, like I'm 50 years old versus a 17-year-old going to school, right? I remember my first fight, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Stacy fought in school?
how did you get into a fight?
I don't know, but I slammed somebody against the locker.
Wow, that's good. So
Not proud of it,
you
but
were
I
the
was-
aggressor?
Yes, they must have picked on me.
Yeah.
Something,
Well, I'm not saying it wasn't their fault. I'm just saying that,
something happened
something triggered.
that triggered me that I fought back. And that was when I was like, this is enough. This school is not working.
So when you were little and in school, what did you want to be when you were an adult? What did you think you would be doing now at this age?
When I was elementary school, my childhood growing up, because you get to ask that question a lot, what would you want to be when you grow up? And at that time, I wanted to be a school teacher. I wanted to be a first grade school teacher, and that was because I loved my first grade teacher. She was the best ever, and until today, I try to stalk her on Facebook and look for her, and I can't find her. But it was that when you're here in the U.S. and you don't know anybody and you can't speak English, this was a teacher that made you feel comfortable. We went to ESL, which is English as a second language. Even in class, when I needed to go to the bathroom, I didn't know how to raise my hand to ask, can I go to the bathroom? And which one is a boy and which one's a girl. Mm-hmm. So all I knew is I sat there and I really had to go, to the girls' room, and I just wet my pants. And to the point where they send you to the principal office, give you new clothes and everything, and it happened, 6 months, and I kept on doing that. But I never got shamed for that. My sponsor always had to come pick me up, always had to bring new clothes all the time. So it's like, oh, there she goes again. But I never felt scared, and I think that first grade teacher made a strong impact.
Who was the teacher?
Mrs. Anderson.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yep. She was awesome.
You have, it is kind of incredible how there are impactful people in our lives at that age that we can still talk about to this day. It's my fourth grade teacher who I actually just saw at an auction not too long ago, but it's just one of those things that it just kind of sticks with you forever, and it makes a huge impact. So you graduate from high school, and then when did the family move to Texas? What was happening during that time?
I was already married at that time.
Did you get married young?
I got married when I was 18, 19.
Well, that's young. Yeah.
That was young. Yeah. I was a bad girl, I ran away from home.
Does that mean bad? Oh, okay.
I ran away from home, when you're a kid and you're in love, and, when parents, lay down, you do not go anywhere. You rebel, and I rebel. And I ran away from home. Eventually I got married to the guy I ran away from home with. And then I had a baby. She's, 29 years old now. That time, my sister was living with me, and I think I was probably 20 at that time. And that was when Mom needed help. Sister packed up her stuff and went. The other sister and brother, I don't know where they went, but eventually they all landed in Texas.
Yeah, yeah. Do you see them? Do you go to Texas?
I go at least minimum twice a year, Christmas and my mom's birthday.
Yeah.
And anything else is considered a bonus.
Yeah, that's good. Do you like Texas?
I would never move there. I don't like fire ants. I don't like the weather, but I do love Scottsdale weather.
Oh,
but
yes.
humidity weather in Texas and Florida, no.
I just wanted you to be, because Trevor's from Texas, so I just wanted you to be negative towards Texas. But
yeah, no, Texas, I got bit by fire ants, and I'm like, you'll never get me there. Tons of food. I can, I'm like, wow, I don't know how they survive down there. Competition is like 30 same restaurants, all selling food next to each other, and they're not out of business. Every one of them is all unique, which is awesome to see. But yeah, no, it's always good to go back home to see them.
Did you ever work in the store that they operated?
Never.
Yeah?
No, I was grounded here because as soon as I graduated, I got hired into the post office. And I
graduated from high school?
Graduated from high school.
Okay.
I never worked fast food in my life. I have no idea that whole world that most people go into retail, fast food. I never got handed that spoon that says get out and get a job. I was, a stickler. I know what I want, and I won't do anything until the opportunity came. So I went on, I applied for the post office. The first year I got interviewed, and they gave me the job. I had to turn them down. I don't know what I was doing that I wasn't ready yet. But then when the time came, the second round, I got hired. I took the job, moved forward. I got pregnant, and I didn't even know I was pregnant when I was going through probation with the post office. So half of you going to college, the other half you're in probation. I was forwarding mail at the post office at that time, and it was really a unique experience because you get to know everybody's mail that's coming through. It's like, oh, here's my neighbors. Oh my gosh, they have that much debt? My goodness. So you form this opinion of all these mail that you see.
Well, you didn't have to open it.
You don't, but you can sort of see if it's a
right,
lien,
no, I know,
because, oh my gosh, here's
final notice.
Yeah, you get to see all of that.
Yeah.
And then during going to the post office, I memorized literally every single zip code. So, this helps in real estate because my head's still thinking post office, right? If you're saying, you want to look at certain, Seattle area, and I'll be like, do you want to go to Bitter Lake? What are you talking about? And I was like, well, 98133 or 98177. It's still stuck in my head. growing through the post office world, now it's a government job, it's security. So it basically grounded me here in Washington, where everybody's just back and left and help.
How long did you work at the post office?
23 years.
Yeah.
23 long, fun years. I mean, I literally did every single job in the post office besides carrying mail. I give those guys a lot of credit for doing what they do out there.
What was your favorite part about that? I didn't know you worked there for 23 years. I knew you worked there, but I didn't know that.
So I started off in forwarding mail, and then from probably a couple years into that, I became what they call a 2-4B, a acting supervisor. Growing through that, I became a window clerk, which was fun because I got to talk to people versus staying in a box. Got to see what people, strange thing that they mail. Got to sell stamps. Then you get shipped to Bainbridge Island. You're like, oh my goodness, I'm going across the island. Your whole time sleeping on the ferry boat over. And I thought, are they punishing me? Why am I going to Gilligan's Island? But I met the coolest people, the professors from from Gilligan's Island. I met over there.
Oh.
You learn so many cool things, just the experience from all that. Then I became a manager. I became the postmaster of Maple Valley. That was a boring job. I loved the job. So easy, but it was so boring. I need consistency of doing stuff, just sitting in one place, and it wasn't my style. Then that was Seattle to Maple Valley, but my goal was to try to get closer to home. And at that time, I lived in Issaquah. So to get closer to home, there's a process that you have to go through to try to get transferred. So then I found a place in Issaquah post office down here. Mm-hmm. Did that for a little bit, and then till somebody got me to go into sales and marketing. That was the best job ever. Besides everything else I did, I loved everything. But
sales and marketing outside of...
This is the post office.
Oh, still the post
office. My job is to go steal business away from FedEx and UPS.
Oh, nice.
And then on top of that, get business to help them grow. So this is where I got to learn about what realtors were doing. At that time, I still had my real estate license, and I got my license while maintaining the post office job because I really like how people decorate it. And you walk down Alki and you see these big high-rises, condos, and you're looking up and they have this big artwork, and you're like, wow, I wonder what inside looks like. Mm-hmm. And the only way you can get inside to see some of these fancy homes is you got to have your license.
Yeah.
So then I got my license, and then I did the open house, and I was like, I got to talk to people. I never really had to talk to people. And then, you do the open house, you talk to people, and you're like, I'm not making any money doing this. So, I still got a paycheck from the post office, but I did my side gig with real estate. And that was just for fun. And then I started buying my own investment property. That allowed me to save on commission, but you got to negotiate your own contracts. At the same time, I did the post office, I did real estate, and then I have my Airbnbs. So and that's why I'm saying that I'm a woman of many hats. I did all of that at the same time. But everything I learned through the other two jobs, I learned from the post office, from sales and marketing. I learned what they taught me, some of the questions that you have to be able to talk to a CEO. And I was always afraid if I ever got pulled into Amazon, talk to Jeff Bezos, what would I say? I would get so nervous. So all these questions that I learned throughout my career, how to get buy-in, how to get them to see their problem and reach out to you for help, is how I applied it.
So you kind of had the bug for the real estate, and you were doing that, and then at what point was it like, okay, I don't need the post office anymore? I mean, was there a number in your mind that you had? Was there, I need this many transactions, or what does it look like?
No, I was literally juggling two full-time jobs, the post office 8 hours and real estate over 8 hours. And it got to the point where I had to say, I'm not giving the post office 100% of my time that they're paying me for. I'm not giving my customers, my real estate customers, 100% of my attention to list your home, to take you to go show homes and do the whole 9 yards. So it got to the point where I second-guessed myself a lot. So then where it got me to say I had to wash my hand clean with the post office, even though I had a job that had pension, health care, no layoff clause. I mean, I was making decent money. But to be able to walk away from that, real estate was taking off as well. Because when I first got my license, I wasn't doing well. I was just doing for, fun things. But when real estate started taking off a little bit, that's when both jobs became 2 solid full-time jobs. And I would have to say, not wanting to get caught by the post office and get fired was when I was like, okay, I think I need to post more focus in something that's going to actually make me happy. And real estate was that thing.
Where do you think your work ethic comes from?
Mainly my parents. They taught me really the big thing. And then everything else was from the post office and then kind of rolled down.
So that must have been was it scary to say I'm giving up the pension and all this kind of stuff? I mean,
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time, because I was also, when I made the decision to quit the post office, I also went through a divorce.
Oh, so, at that time.
At that same time. So I don't have the second income anymore.
A lot of life change at the same time.
Everything all happened.
Yeah.
You don't have a second income. You're giving a solid job that every 2 weeks you're going to get a paycheck. Let all that go. And that was hard because when I sent in that resignation letter, it was hard. I'm like, this is real, so I can't go back anymore. Right? And so, yeah, took the leap of faith, went this way, and I'm happy. And it's funny because my headquarters boss is actually my friend on Facebook. And I was like, man, she's going to catch me one day doing both jobs. I'm going to get in trouble. But that time, and I got to list her house and sold her house.
Oh,
and I
well,
took her
there
to
you go.
So it's been a full circle.
Yeah. And so when you leave the post office, I mean, you must have enough transactions or things going on to where there's enough to survive on at that moment. But then really it exploded after that.
It exploded. Oh my gosh, I think it exploded. I moved out in Snoqualmie in 2014. And at that time I went out to this neck of the wood. I was like, no one's going to visit me out here. I will have no friend. This is so far. Who would come out this way? Who would buy out this way? Right? But now that I'm out here, I love it out here. So it's easy to sell in a neighborhood that you believe in, right? So, to steal people from Issaquah Highland, get them off that Kool-Aid and come this, side of the earth, is so much easier, and you can hear it by the way I talk. And it's just not sugarcoating, right? You can hear the passion in a neighborhood I believe in. And so
there's so many people that do what you do. There's a lot of
agents.
There's a lot of agents, but there's not a lot of competition. Is there? I mean,
I think there is.
I would say the successful. I mean, the people who really do well,
mm-hmm.
right? There's not a lot of that. I mean, it's maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I mean, how do you view that?
There would be, I would say, 4 or 5 really good agents that are well respected up here that, if I saw an offer came through from them, hands down, they will get, my support. Those are the one that if they're doing well, what am I missing? How do I learn some of the stuff that they're doing? If I didn't get a listing and I knew I went in against that agent, and normally when I didn't get the listing, I'll call this seller and say, hey, can you, I know I don't get the listing, but can you share with me what made you chose this agent so that I can learn from it? So then I carry what I just missed out on to the next.
So do people actually answer that question?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't in my business. I never know why I don't get business. But yeah, I mean, and believe me, we get enough business. You get enough business. We all get enough business in our chosen fields. But it would be helpful to know that sometimes is why they go in a different direction.
And then even when I get, I go in against 3 other agents and I get selected, I don't ask right away, but when we get in contract, we get pending. I do. I say, okay, I'm just kind of curious. Why did you choose me over that other agent?
Yeah. Do you think most people are interviewing agents, like you just said, they're talking to 2 or 3 people and then they decide who they want to list their house with? Do you think that's...
A big chunk of it is, this question just happened yesterday too. And I go, did all the other agent comes in with a whole bunch of paperwork? And I go, yep, they came with a portfolio, iPads and everything. And I go, when you met me, did I come in with any paperwork? They go, no. And I go, then why did you choose me? Because because you didn't need all of that. You already had all the answer in your head and you know how to spin it. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, and that's, I think that, I suppose there's, not to diminish that because I like that approach better, but I'm just saying that there's probably types of people who do want all of that as well. But
you got to know your audience.
Yeah.
You got to know your audience. If I'm going to somebody that's in a 55 plus community that's getting ready to sell there, I'm going to bring all the paper because those are typically the people that wants to reading, sleeping material at night, to kind of go over a thing, and they like to dissect everything. If I'm going towards a younger generation, they just want techie stuff. So that's when you have to bring all your iPads and everything else, right? The people that I typically work with, they find me either through social media, or this kind of referrals. And so when I get it through referral or they get it through social media, then I come in with nothing. I just come in with just knowledge, and I'm a straight shooter. This is very blunt. This is how it is, And if somebody else is going to come in and pitch a lot higher, then I'll say, if you want the higher price and I don't think your house is worth it, I'm okay. I'm not your agent, right? Because I don't want to invest my time, energy, and money into a listing if you're not being realistic, right? My goal is not to sell it fast. I love to sell it fast, but at the same time, I don't want to leave money on the table, but I'm not going to waste my time, handhold the whole process, and we're not going to get anywhere.
Right. Yeah. And then what about on the other side of it, the people who are looking for a place? It's the same thing, right? They come from marketing, they come through social media or word of mouth. In having you do that, I know how you're probably going to answer this question, but is it annoying when they take like 3 years to find a house or something like that?
I've done it so many times where you showed a home for 2-3 years and then eventually they buy a for sale by owner.
Yeah.
And you wasted all that time, but that's just part of business.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Not everybody will get off the fence and find something now. It's up to the agents to be able to guide them along the way. I just have a listing right here where I actually represent the seller, but I brought the buyer to the table to write the offer, right? And my seller goes, Stacy, what do we need to do to get all the other agents to do what you just did? And I go, every agent's not me. Every agent's waiting for the seller or the buyer to send you the listing, and then they will schedule a showing versus being proactive and finding the listing and send it out.
Do you think that's how you've been successful?
A little bit of that. We just went pending on a home that's $2.25 million one day on the market, and they interviewed me and a couple other agents, and I got selected. But right now in the world we're at, we have to get buyers to sign a buyer's broker's agreement. And it's an uncomfortable conversation for a buyer to sign the dotted line that says you will pay me for my commission. Buyers don't want to sign that, right? But you got to be able to educate them about getting, what it is and why they have to sign it and the whole 9 yards. So going on that listing yesterday, I think I've shown them maybe 4 houses, and their budget is $2 million, but we're landing at 2.25. How did I get them there when their comfort zone is here, right? A little hand-holding.
Yeah.
A little hand-holding, let them to kind of see outside the box. Also show them, let's go look at all the $2 million. There's nothing available.
Right.
But a little bit more, and how much is that going to change your monthly payment? Can you qualify for that? And will you be comfortable with that?
Well, that's why I'm never going to tell you what my limit is. So here we go with this. One of the questions was, what kind of word or phrase describes you best? And you said, surround yourself with assets and let go of the liabilities. What does that mean to you?
My sister taught me that. Gosh, that's probably been 20 years ago. I was, back then, all I wanted was just friends. I didn't care if you're good, bad, or as long as you were my friend, I was content. And then over the years, when I got a divorce, when you need people and what you thought were your friends, they disappeared. The good quality friends hung around, right? So when I say surround yourself with asset, for me to blossom and become energetic and to grow, I want to surround myself with people of like kind. The same, good energy, the people that isn't going to drain me, that is full of negativity, because when you have all those people around you of negative, it's going to pull you down. And I don't need that in my life. I need people that's going to lift me up. I need the cheerleader on my side. I need, I don't always need you to come over and help me do certain things, but it's nice to have a support system. So that's been my...
Well, and that's kind of the point of where we are, right, in our lives. It's like there's no, whether, you need the positive energy or people pulling you down or the liabilities, as you call them. I think it's good. And it's okay to kind of, recycle, I guess. There's probably other ways to say that, but that's, recycle the friends or whatever, or however that looks for you. Who's going to bring the positivity? You talked about one of the things about being single. You've been single for a long time, right?
Feels like it, yes.
Yeah. Well, at least.
Oh, gosh, 8 years now? 10 years?
Didn't you say 2014? Didn't you say that?
2014 is when I moved to the Ridge.
Ah, okay.
And then I would say 8-9 years now.
Yeah. So a little bit longer for me, but I you had a story which I might start doing about airlines here.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
What's your tactic on airlines?
So for the longest time, being single, I was so focused on work, I didn't have time for dating. I didn't want to date because you've been hurt. So you don't want to get back out there again and get hurt again. So you're like, okay, I'll just be single. Get to a point in your life, you're like, okay, you have everything in the world, but you don't have the companionship. And it'd be nice to be able to go to dinner with somebody, to movies, to travel with somebody, right? But you're like, I don't want to get into the dating apps. I don't want, that's all gone. So I need the organic way where you meet somebody at the grocery store, but what do? Hitting watermelons? So I decided.
And this grocery store here, not that great for meeting people.
I don't want to meet anybody where I live.
Right. No, I get it.
Just because if you date somebody where you live and something goes south, everybody knows. And so I
Preach into the choir.
So I decided to, because I travel a lot with my Airbnbs in different states, I'm always on the plane. And then being licensed in Arizona, I'm on the plane a lot. So this trip, I was, I think I was going to Florida or something like that. And I booked a seat intentionally, center row. And I hate the center seat because you don't got much, arm room and all the other stuff. And who knows which side you get. But then my mind changed and say if I sat in the middle, I have a 50-50 shot of one of the person next to me could be single. Or if they're not single, or maybe it's just business, kind of thing. I have an opportunity to talk about my Airbnbs. I have talking about, I'm licensed here, licensed there. So I have a networking chance, plus a chance of potentially getting somebody single. So I actually met a what is he? He's an ICU doctor.
Okay.
And for some reason at that time, I thought it was a NICU.
Oh, yeah.
So we talked about investing, but he lives in Texas. So my mind was like, oh, that'll give me a chance to fly to Texas, hang out with him, visit family. This is a win-win.
Yeah.
So then I invested myself more into the conversation. So we start talking about cars. We start talking about lives and work and everything. And then after they got off the plane, I was like, well, I'll probably never meet this guy again. But the conversation was great. So I got out of my comfort zone and we exchanged number on the plane. And I texted him. I said, hey, since you're going to be working down at the hospital in Houston, would you like to go have a drink or dinner? Or I said something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, he said yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I haven't been on a date in forever. So I told my sister, can I borrow your car? And then I'm thinking, please do not show up in scrubs. He showed up in scrubs.
Oh, really?
But he's in black, so you can't tell if they're scrub. But
well, that's interesting.
But it went well. And then after, a couple of conversation, a week or two into it, it kind of fizzled away. Yeah. But at least it got me there.
No,
so then I was like, okay, let me try this again. So I did it next time. And then I met, two guys next to me, father and son. And we got into conversation about cars.
So father, they're related. They're each other. So they booked the side seats.
They got the one, yeah. So then I got to stuck the middle. And the whole conversation was about cars.
Yeah.
What car they drove and what they do as a hobby. And so we connected on that.
Yeah.
And then the last time I was like, okay, let me do it again. And I got stuck with a lady sleeping and something else. But it worked.
Yeah,
It
no,
worked.
that's a good idea. A couple of things. I can't imagine you and Coach. Number one, number two, or maybe it wasn't Coach.
It was premium,
Oh, there you go. All right, and then the other thing is, I don't mind the middle seat at all. I think there's an unwritten rule that the middle seat person gets both armrests because the other people don't. They don't. So that's kind of my rule. But I don't mind it at all. I think it is great to meet people.
Going to
for sure.
Florida, I always take the red eye to get there, the next morning so I don't kill a whole day flying. I tend to sleep on long flights, so I want the window so I can just knock out.
Right.
Because if I knock the other way, the cart will probably hit my head. But on the window, you have to go, excuse me, over two people to get to the bathroom.
Right. Yeah, I don't like doing that.
So yeah, but not bad.
Yeah, cool. Well,
It's worked.
I was kind of hoping for, and now I want to introduce you to my husband. That would be great. So the single life, you're not a fan of the apps and all of that?
No, you'll never catch. I say, would you never catch me? This is the first year I actually jumped on eHarmony.
Oh, okay.
Hate it. I figured that if I paid money into an app versus those free apps, that you'll get decent people, that they invested their time and money, because eHarmony requires all these questions that, I'm like, I don't know where it's going to go. But if I put in that much money into it and I answer all these crazy questions, they got to do the same thing, right? So that took off, and a lot of scammers, a lot of catfish, I've never met a living soul. I basically blocked every single one of them. But yeah, and then it's like, no, I'm not going to wait till the whole entire 6 months I signed up for. I canceled it like 3-4 months into it.
Yeah. So to be fair, the free ones are not free to guys. So that's because we have to pay for things. But it's also, to me, it's just along the lines of entertainment. It's not anything other than that. And it's designed to make money. Even eHarmony is designed to make money. And it's not designed to really help anybody, I don't think. I mean, organic is the only way I think that it works. But
I agree with that.
But we know people, obviously, success stories otherwise that can tell us otherwise.
I mean, my ex-husband, I met on matchmaker.com or something like that back then. Eric. 2 people. That one's engaged and one was my husband. That was apps.
Really? There was apps.
There was a kiss.com and where
Kiss.com.
I met my ex-fiance and my husband at that time, matchmaker.com. Which is now, I think, Match.com.
So it does work.
It does work.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get back on there.
Yeah. Well, no, it's something else. I can tell you that. It's not great. It's not. I don't think it's not designed to help anybody. It's for entertainment purposes only. So
It is, but then again, at the same time, I got the house and my house is on a corner, and I did the LED lights that trims it all out. So every holiday or every game, I get to change the color. So one day I changed the color to rainbow, and it was spinning, and it was like so cute, and it was so bright. And I took a picture of it, and I sent to my friends, and I say, hey, there's what my house looks like. And she goes, way to support Pride, Stacy. And I'm like, if she thinks like that, I wonder how many other people thinks like that.
I actually, it's not. Yes, and that's how people. There's no getting to know you. There's no nothing. I have a picture. I deleted it from your house at your party that you had, and it's me standing in front of an American flag that you purchased or something along those lines. And I was told that the reason no women like me online is because I have that picture on there. And I'm like, if somebody hates the American flag that much, I don't want to date them anyway. I mean, that's not a political statement. That's a 4th of July is my favorite thing. I was at this party. I thought I looked pretty good, to be honest. So I was, had a little scruff going. It was all good. And so there was that, but it's just like, and then you can talk about other things that are triggering. But to be fair, I get triggered by people I'm looking at too. It's like,
Sure.
So it's
but
not.
I didn't know. I don't do the rainbow anymore because I didn't want people to think I'm a swinger.
Right.
I did not want females knocking on the door for invitations.
Well, I had a party that I was at, and I had a pineapple shirt on, and I didn't realize that was
I didn't
a
know.
swinger either.
I'm
But
so naive in that. Yep.
But I think I wore it to an auction. Trevor, was I wearing that at an auction and somebody came up to me and said something? Were you there at that one? No, and it was like, well, I'm just wearing a shirt with a pineapple on it. So I mean,
Yeah.
you just never know. But it doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's like, even if people are commenting on posts on Facebook or they're doing things, it's like, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's their identifying feature either. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, you could just be whatever. I mean, I could be full blown crazy in front of the American flag, or I could have just been at a 4th of July party.
But on the ridge, it's a little bit different when you got, for me, with rainbows.
Right. No, I get it.
Because I don't want people to feel like I'm a swinger.
Right. Well, I think, isn't it the White Rocks?
It's the White Rocks too,
Yeah.
and the milk can.
This is great advice for everybody. It's the milk can. I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
What's
you
the
get
milk
the
can?
milk can lid open. Come on in. Oh, I was like, nope, no milk can at my house.
The delivery milk.
The delivery milk can
But
kind of.
not
Yeah.
just the delivery.
Not the delivery. It's just the milk
It has to
container.
be
The
open.
lid opens up or the lid closes.
Interesting. So it seems like everything on your porch indicates you're a swinger. So I mean, you can't do anything.
Yeah, that's why you don't see a milk box in my porch.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, what
Or
is
no pineapple.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, it was I posted that I go to Pineapple Life, and I had from my 100th class, and then there was a bunch of people saying, "Oh, what does that mean? Is it a swingers club?" And people were really excited that I was like, expanding my horizons. Like, no, I do yoga. That's all it is. And I mean, maybe they're swingers. I don't know, but we'll have to.
That was
I guess
not a
we'll have to delve
conversation.
into that. So a little bit more. What is something you're especially proud of on your journey so far?
Because my career has taken off, I also have a mentality that if you work this hard, you should enjoy your life. You should be able to travel, buy the things you want. And one of my biggest prized possession that got me to where I am, and every time I walk by it every single day, it's a pat on the back saying, you got it, right? And I get, my mom especially always like, stop wasting money on this. You just need to save your money. But it's my McLaren. I love not just any cars. I love an exotic cars. At one point, I actually have 2 McLarens in my driveway. One of them was originally from Arizona that I shipped this way, and then I was selling it. And then the other one, I flew to Florida, bought it and shipped this way. So I happened to have 2 cars in my driveway. So then, of course, the neighborhood was like, dang, So it was, but I try to hide it, and
They're probably like, wait, is she a swinger? What's going on here?
you never know.
Yeah.
But my mom, it's like, she tells me with some of the stuff she has. She goes, you got to enjoy life. Because if you die, you can't take all your money with you.
Right.
You can. So, and when I got the car, I was so afraid my mom's going to give me a lecture that you blow your money. You don't. I go, Mom, I work so hard. I should be able to buy what I want and enjoy it, and live it, right? Because when I pass, the person that's going to enjoy that car is my daughter. So you might as well. And so for me, I wake up every morning, and if I walk past the car, I was like, I did it. I got there. And it didn't just come from somebody hand it to me. I work hard.
Yeah. No, you do. I mean, definitely in your industry, you do work hard and, deserve the success that's
But
coming.
people think real estate agent makes so much money, and that's why they drive the fancy cars and everything else, because we make it look so easy, and we make it look like we make a lot of money.
Well, and I think this is a different level, but I do think that a real estate agent probably would have to drive, I'm not a McLaren maybe, but a nicer car, because it when you're driving people around or you're showing them things like that, you don't want ones with McDonald's drive-through bags in it and all that kind of stuff.
And I was taught this by another agent that's very successful. The first time, this was probably when the Tesla first came out, and I saw that, and I was like, tell me about your Tesla. What's so cool about it? And he goes, Stacy, I'll tell you something. If you came up and you and I went to a listing presentation, and I pulled up in this Tesla, and you pulled up in a Honda Accord, the seller is going to automatically think, this guy must be selling left and right. He's doing something right for him to be able to afford that car. Whereas this one is still struggling trying to find clients.
For sure. And
Right?
right.
And it's true. because
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but when you pull up in a nice car, not a McLaren, but when you pull up in a nice car, people do judge.
For sure. Yeah, yeah.
They
There's no
think
question
like
about
she's
it.
doing something right.
Yeah. Well, I think that there is something to that. It's and in this day and age and in this area, it's also as the car dealer, you can't judge the person who walks in because I can come in with my one Canada Goose thing that I own and my nice 7 jeans that I bought at the outlet mall and come into the car dealership and not be able to afford the car, but then the person who's all
Rough up and everything else.
yeah,
Yep.
you just
To
never
the
know.
T, yeah.
So, but I do think in your business, I do think it does make a difference. So
Oh,
there's
it totally does. And my sister, I went down to Texas, and they're into this Rolex chase and the Hermes chase, right? And so my mentality is like, oh, it's all show. You got to know how to talk, and you got to know how to walk, and all that stuff. So I had my brother-in-law pitch me everything about the Rolex. What is it that you're looking for? I'll get it for you. Tell me about. So I had to learn what a Daytona was. I had to learn what a Datejust was, and all these band and the whole 9 yards. So then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go in there. And when you walk into the Rolex store, this is in Galleria Mall. You walk in, and everything was for sale only, or sorry, for display only. And you have to be on this waiting list to even get to. And it's about how many you buy and build a relationship before they hand you one to buy, right? So it's the same chase that the Hermes handbag does with the Birkin. So I was like, all right, let me go in there and play it. So I walked in there and I asked for so-and-so rep because they told me who to ask for. So I start shooting the breeze with them. And I was like, yeah, we're talking. And I was like, yeah, I got this McLaren. So I threw it the McLaren name.
of course.
And I was like, oh, yeah, let me show some photos. And I'm showing you. I was like, oh, yeah, I got it. A couple homes I got in Arizona. And so I'm showing them this. I show the homes. I got show the cars. I'm getting ready to fly down to Florida and buy another McLaren. They go, do you want tickets to the McLaren show that we have? We're sponsoring the race. And I was like, I'm not going to ship my car to here. But if you want to give me tickets, I'll give it to my family, right? But they're already offering me tickets to the race. And then I was like, yeah. And then I was like,
we got a hot buyer on hand here. We got to,
you're talking their,
their language.
now they're thinking, okay, you got money. And I don't even know how much money I even had. But then I was like, okay, yeah, I'm trying to find a gift for my boyfriend. And I don't even have a boyfriend. But I'm trying to find a gift for my boyfriend. And there's a specific look that I want him to, I kind of dress him. And I want him to wear a silver Datejust, right? And I go, and just talking through the whole language, I go, I don't know too much about it, but I know enough. I know what I want him to wear. And so then they're like, well, why don't you come this way? And they brought me over to another case and they pulled out this Rolex. We got this one for you. And I'm like, everything was on display.
Yeah. Well,
and I picked it up and I was like, this is not what I was looking for. It was super thick and heavy. It was a diver's watch that is made for the NFL player because they have big hand and they can handle the weight. And I was like, oh man, I'm getting offered a Rolex. What do I do? So I go, you know what? Let me call my brother-in-law because this is for him. So he came over and I go, hey, do you think, I made up some name. Do you think, whatever his name was, will like this watch? Because I think it's kind of big, but I don't know if this is his style. And the rep was looking at me and it's like, so you actually just dressed him? And I was like, yeah, I'm very particular. Our anniversary's coming up. I want to give him a watch. And I'm very particular, but I just don't know if he likes this one, right? So then my brother-in-law goes, yeah, I don't think he'll like this one. So it's all about the game.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, no, and that's great. And so they're not all on display now I know.
Now you can get some.
Now I know. I got to drop some.
Same thing with the Hermes world. It's all about the game.
Well, we don't have much time left. So there's 3 things here. I asked you what your walk-up song was, and you you didn't know, but you did send me the song "Sugar Daddy," which I don't know. What is that all about?
Sugar Daddy. That is my motivational song. It actually is my ringtone that I cycle through. It talks. It's from the who's the singer? Kylie Morgan. Mm-hmm, Kylie Morgan. And it says something about if you want that house, if you want that Gucci bag, if you want that car, you got to work for it. Mm-hmm. And if you ever get a chance, look it up. Or if you want to hear the song, It's perfect.
Kylie Morgan Sugar Daddy. All right, well, we'll do that. We'll have that at one of our auctions, maybe our Catholic school.
Oh my goodness, I don't know if you want to do that, but it's when the name Sugar Daddy comes on, I chop it off because I don't want people to hear the word Sugar Daddy. But I have all the other tunes that you can let go.
I had you look at the Instagram page to pick a quote that you like. Being single isn't a loss, settling is. That's the quote that you picked.
Yep.
I mean, ain't that the truth?
I will not settle. I would rather be single forever than to settle.
I don't know if you know the band Sugarland. That's a country artist. They have a song called Settling. I ain't settling for anything less than everything. So there you go. I like it. That's good stuff. Rapid fire. Are you a beach or a mountains person?
Beach. I do not like outdoor life.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
What is your favorite snack?
Candy.
Candy, like what
Sour
kind of
Patch
candy?
Kid.
Really?
Sugar puts on the weight, sour takes away the weight.
What was your first concert you went to?
Air Supply.
Really? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Where did you do that? Was that
The casino down in, what was it, Muckleshoot or Emerald Queen or something?
I think Emerald Queen is where Air Supply comes every year. That's great.
I still love them.
Still love them. What is your favorite TV show?
Oh, I don't watch TV.
You're online. What's your favorite social media platform to go through?
Facebook. I am married to Facebook.
Yeah, you were saying that you get up and you kind of scroll through everything.
Yep, I scroll through all the pages. I catch up with everybody's business, and I look at Marketplace, and then I catch up with emails. And
you don't get annoyed with all the ads and the targeted stuff?
No, but same thing with me. If somebody doesn't like me, just keep on scrolling.
Yeah. And then your drink of choice.
I would say now, not before, but now I say with a nice cocktail, like a little Cosmo, anything foo-foo, sweet and sour kind of deal.
Okay, good stuff. So tell the folks how to get in touch with you if they want to buy or sell something.
I'm not good with plugs. Pacific Northwest
Where should
Houses.
they follow you?
Oh, my Facebook. I won't accept anybody. So I guess you have to go to pacificnorthwesthouses.com and just put in an inquiry page, and I'll be more than happy to meet. Otherwise, 206-579-0344. Shoot me a text, call me.
And it doesn't have to be Snoqualmie.
It can be, no further than Everett, no further than, I don't want to go to Tacoma. Seattle is a hit and miss in Seattle. And no further than Suncadia.
Yeah.
So a little bubble.
Little bubble, but a good bubble.
Good bubble.
Good bubble. And what's your advice on somebody who would be starting out in the business, in the real estate business?
Take the course. For you to appreciate what the real estate world is, you got to take the course, get past the licensing, pay all your dues and fees, get out there and learn it. And it might be for some, and it might not be for others. It is hard work. And a lot of people get out there, pay the fee, do all the thing, and they just don't know how to find leads. If you don't do anything, no one's going to know you're an agent.
Well, I wish you the best, and may you find love in the middle seat.
Thank you.